Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Man, We're Too Old for This, here on the Nerd Eternal Network. I'm your host, the experience that some call Jason, and with me today is...
The token Tarky.
CDO 113, the droid you're looking for.
And the blurred dawn of the veil, the Todd Father.
And today we're going to be talking about What If... Todd, what is What If?
What If is the MCU's journey into animation, based off of the old What If comic book series from, what was it, the 70s?
I think this was the first one.
60s,
Well,
early 70s.
yeah, the first run of it was like late 60s, 70s, and then it came back again in the late 80s.
Yeah, late 80s into the early 90s.
Yeah. Basically, it's Marvel's alternate reality comic book. It was
They take one pivotal event, like let's say in the books when Captain America was in the ice and the Avengers are having their battle and they discover Captain America. Well, what happens if, say, the Hulk had went left versus right and nobody ever saw him stuck there in the ice?
it's basically the nail.
Yeah.
It's their version of the nail. It's the one little something that's different from the main universe that usually causes everything to go to shit.
Yeah, DC's version are their Elseworlds.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Elseworlds, I don't think popped up until the 90s.
Yeah. They didn't start doing Elseworlds till like the late 80s and 90s. What If's got Elseworlds beat by a few decades.
Though prior to that, DC was doing their imaginary stories and stuff where they take the character and go off in a weird direction with them for like an issue.
Yeah, but they didn't call it Elseworlds until...
Yeah, they didn't have a clear title for it, like Elseworld or What If.
And it wasn't an ongoing something.
Mhm.
You know, DC would give you your weird stories just because they had so damn many Earths. They had a multiverse too, so you end up with something on another Earth. But What If was basically an established kind of story that they went, okay, if this person went left instead of right, if they'd made this decision, if they'd shown up 2 seconds late, look at how jacked up this universe would have been. I was talking to a friend about it last night and hit the nail on the head. It was a slick way of showing you how the universe that you followed was the superior universe.
Yeah.
Because as bad as stuff may have gotten in the 616, there were universes where it was a hell of a lot worse.
Yep. Very rarely did you have anything that was better.
Yeah.
And if it was better, it was only for a select few. It usually was horribly worse for everybody else.
About the only one I can think of where things were quote unquote better was what if the Avengers had lost the Evolutionary War, where you had the High Evolutionary basically do that. In the actual storyline, they stopped him from basically detonating that gene bomb, and in that they were late and it blew up and it evolved everybody. So mutants and superheroes became damn near gods, and normal humanity all became like super powerful mutants.
Yeah.
But there were none of the, screwed up side effects or no kind of crap like Cyclops, like it fixed his brain damage so he could control his powers and all that. And like all the mutants and like evolved superheroes basically form like this glowing gestalt cosmic being and fly off into space.
Yeah.
And the humans on Earth, because they've evolved, Earth becomes a utopia and stuff like that. I think that's about the only What If I ever read that like had a better ending. Where you're like, oh, well, it don't suck.
Yeah. They tended to be dark.
Yeah.
Real dark.
Yeah.
But with this one, with the animated, they threw a real softball to us for the first episode.
Oh, and which is
Yeah.
what I didn't like about it. Danny liked it because I think he understands where they're going. I watched it and was like, what is this kitty ball shit?
All right, so what is the first episode about?
All right, first episode is basically what if Peggy Carter ended up with the super soldier serum instead of Steve Rogers. she makes the decision to stay down on the floor as opposed to going up in the observation booth like she did in Captain America: The First Avenger. And because of that, the Nazi agent does his stuff early. Steve ends up getting shot in the gut. And they end up in a situation where it's like, if we don't make this super soldier right now, you ain't never gonna have one. And Peggy was the person that was able to jump into the chamber. So she ends up Captain America.
Yeah,
And that's it. Other than that, it's not a whole hell of a lot different.
It does create the difference of like, because she's, actually
in shape.
she's trained better than
Yeah.
Steve, period. She decides to go into action much earlier,
Yeah.
which creates important events. Because she's able to get her hands on the Tesseract and just toss it down. And go, hey, this is the thing they were after.
Yeah, she didn't go on the USO tour. That was the big difference. She didn't go on. Where Steve, spent all that time as selling bonds. She didn't do that. She went right into fighting.
And Stark ends up building, an Iron Man early, but I think they call it the Hydra Stomper.
Yep.
And Steve is so skinny and small, he can fit in. It's like a walking tank, and he fits in it perfectly. And, that's his way of being a hero.
Now, for me, it is kind of funny to just be like, the entire Stark family, if you hand them a big enough power source, they just go, I could make a robot man suit out of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's just what their family does.
Oh, well, everybody got their thing.
But I like the fact that, I don't know, I just enjoyed the story as kind of just this, it was very campy to me.
Yeah, it was lighthearted as far as, what if goes. But like for me, I enjoyed two things about it. Jennifer, when we sat down to watch it, she's like, "Oh God, another one of these superhero shows that you get." She wasn't looking forward to it. She didn't like Loki as much as I did. She enjoyed parts of it, but she's going into this going, "Oh God, what's it gonna be?" And then she watches it and she goes, "I enjoyed that. It was different." I said, "Yeah, it's that whole thing of this one event changes, and then this is what happened." And so for me, like Todd hated it. But for me, I went, okay, that was pretty clever on Marvel's part. We'll throw them a light, softball, like underhanded softball, just real easy to get a hit with the fans. Because the majority, I would say like 80% of your current movie, TV show fans haven't read the books like we have. Because they're just, oh, Marvel? Okay, yeah, you mean the Captain America movies or the Avenger movies. That's where they've picked up a huge chunk of fans. They're familiar with the movies and the TV shows from Netflix, and then they come into the Disney stuff and like, oh yeah, you got such and such and so a cartoon. Well, I'll give it. Oh yeah, I enjoyed that, and they threw them something light to get them in the headspace of this is what if means.
Kind of ease them into it.
Yeah, ease them into it. And like I think Todd was saying, the first one, was Captain Carter. The second one is
T'Challa.
And the third one is I think the Marvel Zombies.
I don't know if it's the zombies or not. I just know it's the Avengers it's a universe where the Avengers get killed. I don't know if that's the Marvel Zombies one. Yeah, it probably is, but I can't swear to it.
But it's like they're easing people into the what if that us old school fans know as, oh yeah, something's about to go hard.
Trick is that ain't gonna work. Because the thing is, in that if you dealing with a bunch of sensitives, you might as well throw them into the deep end of the pool. This is why killing the one who remains was a bad idea. Because this multiverse is fucked up. You go create a whole bunch of damn realities that sucked. Here it is. Because easing them into it, if you softball them on the first one, and you softball them on the second one, and then you give them like an actual what if story in the third, then it's gonna be, well, I was watching this with the kids, and now he's crying, and Optimus died. Just go on and throw him in the goddamn deep end of the pool, and either let him sink or swim. Because no matter when you give it to them, they're gonna bitch about it.
Yeah.
So just go on and do it. Hey, she became Captain America, and this is how that was all kinds of fucked up. Merry Christmas. And you either accept that, because that's the trick. That what if tended to do was, not only did it show you were in the best universe, it showed you how fucked up the multiverse was. Most of them alternate universes sucked. They sucked.
Yeah.
I mean, you had what if the Marvel heroes lost Atlantis attacks? That Earth is a barren wasteland at the end of that, and the progeny of Set are going off into the multiverse at the end of it. They don't always have. They have a lot of times decent conclusions. Sometimes you don't all, but even those a lot of times they ain't necessarily happy endings. It's just, well, it's a new starting over point.
Yeah.
Well, 90% of humanity is wiped out, and this 10% is on a cleansed earth, and now they'll, rebuild. That was Inferno. What if the X-Men lost Inferno? You had a baby-eating Wolverine in that thing. I mean, like I said, that Atlantis attacks, every hero in the Marvel Universe dead. The Brides of Set, which was She-Hulk, Invisible Woman, Andromeda, Jean Grey, they were all impregnated by the elder god Set. So they had giant snake babies that ate them once they were born, and then proceeded to eat the rest of humanity, which had already been turned into snake men. Then they open up portals and go into the other dimensions. They ain't happy stories.
No.
And the trick is, if you're going to softball them, well, if you hit them with anything close to that, now you got all kinds of, well, that ain't what I signed up for. So just throw them in the deep end of the pool. Multiverse is fucked up. You know when you were cheering for Sylvie when she stabbed He Who Remains? Yeah, that's why this was a bad idea. He was keeping you in timelines that did not completely suck. When you got rid of him, now you got chaos. Now you got some lines that suck.
Well, I don't think the second one's going to be that much of a softball,
The second one is going to be the heartstring puller, because that's Chadwick Boseman's last runs as T'Challa.
And also, it's going to be a softball.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be comedic.
Well, no, it's because it's still in the vein of, this person's a better version of what was there. Captain Carter was a better version of Captain America. More trained, ready to take action faster, and did better job. T'Challa as Star-Lord is going to do a better job.
Well, it's T'Challa without the heart-shaped herb, because he gets him when he's a kid. You can tell that from the trailer.
I assure you, he's going to do a better job.
He's going to be a better Star-Lord than Star-Lord.
Better Star-Lord, because,
Yeah, he won't
Wakanda. They're warrior people,
He won't be a goof.
That's why it's still this one's still going to be a softball coming up, because it's still a story of, here's a better version of a character. Rather than an event change, you're doing a personnel change, which is inherently either going to be better or worse.
And that's the antithesis to What If, because What if this version was better than the one you got? What If was always, this is the reason why you got the best version of this person.
Yeah, that's true.
What if the Hulk went berserk? Because Banner failed, you had a Hulk born that was truly a monster. Because he failed as a human, so it translated into the creature that he turned into. That Hulk was killing people from jump.
Yeah.
So when you looked at that, you went, "Oh, you lucked out. You had a heroic version of the Hulk. There was a misunderstood monster as opposed to a Hulk that was actually a monster. That because of that, he decimated he killed two of the Fantastic Four. And with his death and the fact that he killed Iron Man, you weren't gonna have the Avengers in that world.
Yeah.
And then you can think about all the cascading effects that does. Well, when Korvac shows up, there's no Avengers. When Kang shows up, there's no Avengers. When will there be an Ultron? You don't know, but the things that the Avengers save the world, you ain't got that team. Somebody else gonna have to do it.
Yeah.
When Galactus shows up, who the hell's going to get the ultimate nullifier? Because that was the Torch that did that in the original story. When Torch died fighting Hulk.
Yeah.
They were dark. And it was not, hey, this version's better than the one you got. No, it was literally just the opposite. Thank God you lived in the 616, because if you lived in 2014 over here, that shit sucked.
Yeah. I mean, I would have enjoyed if they had made it dark. Oh, yeah, Peggy got the powers. Oh, yeah, this happened. Oh, yeah, Steve, where he didn't get it. Yeah, Peggy went back to England after the war and did this. And, it fucked up the timeline because you didn't have Cap there to save the day at this.
It's cool with Steve dying.
Yeah, I would have been cool with Steve.
It would have been better for him to just get shot and die.
Yeah.
As far as this world has changes that will forever exist.
See, what I would have thought would have been cool is Steve dies and it's Howard that jumps in the suit, and then something happens to Howard and you don't have Tony Stark. You don't have the.
You could have had anything. You could have also shown, Peggy was maybe physically a superior Cap because she was trained, but Steve was chosen for a reason.
Yeah.
Okay, she's a better fighter, but she can't motivate for shit.
Yeah.
Nobody will follow her.
Or just make her more bloodthirsty.
Yeah.
Because she was not afraid to kill a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Throughout that entire thing. She was
Yeah.
she was cracking up laughing, throwing motorcycles into Nazis.
Yeah. Well, it's Nazis. Nobody.
I mean, it's Nazis. It's fine.
I'm sure it was Hydra.
They say Nazi.
They're pretty much Nazis for a big chunk of that shit.
Yeah, when she was in Germany, that was Nazis.
They weren't dancing around it as much as they did in the movie, huh?
No. They just flat out called them.
Yeah, they were just Nazis. And up until about halfway through, you do have the Skull make his thing of basically, oh yeah, it's Hydra and we take it over.
Yeah, the Reich will fall and Hydra will take its place.
The one thing I did like about it is the fact that, they were calling Shuma Gorath, even though it was kind of a pussified version of Shuma Gorath at that juncture. But I thought, as soon as I saw the little Tesseract with the things, like, we call him Hydra's true champion. And I'm saying, oh, Hydra's true champion, Shuma Gorath. Well, that's going to be all kinds of fucked up. That's not going to end well.
Nope.
I would have liked if they'd shown the mental aspect of him, because the thing of Shuma Gorath, he's not just a big monster or a big alien or something. He's from outside. He's one of the many angled ones. He's Lovecraftian. You can't look at him and not have bad shit happen to you.
Yeah. Even like the Asgardians and the Olympians, when they see his true form, most of them are like, ah!
Yeah, because he's from outside. Which I'm curious to see if you going into the multiverse, are they really going to stump people dealing with shit from outside? Because it's outside of reality. It's outside the multiverse. He's Shuma Gorath. There's not multiple Shuma Goraths. There's just Shuma Gorath. It's the same him no matter where you access it. Well, not him, it. It's the same it wherever you access it. And it tends to do bad shit just from coming into your reality. Heck, that whole chopping the tentacles off with swords. Yeah, she might have been stout enough to do that some, but it wouldn't have done shit.
Yeah, he would just regrow.
Well, Blue Marvel flew through it like a bullet.
Yeah,
The last time it came into this reality, one of Thanos' generals, it was Ebony Maw, had possession of Doctor Strange. Yeah, so he used Strange to basically open up a pathway for Shumagorath to come into Earth's dimension. And yeah, Blue Marvel flew through it like a bullet. It pissed it off. That's about it.
yeah.
Because it's not from here.
What I think they should have shown was when they opened up at the end, and you got Nick Fury and Hawkeye standing there, and they open the thing back up, and here she jumps back out with sword and chopped up tentacle parts. She shouldn't have been right in the head.
No, hell no. And she may not be.
Yeah, she may not be, and it's one of those things of they should have had a crazy look in her eye that you the viewer go, oh, she came back fucked up.
Yeah, that wasn't like being frozen in the ice.
No, that was being in an insanity universe.
Yep. For how long time passed there.
Yeah, because what may have been
and that was the thing is you don't really know if she was in there. In real time she was in there. 70, 80 years. You don't know how long that was to her though.
Yeah, it could have been 10 minutes. It could have been 1,000 years.
Well, I think they've established that their super soldiers age in the movie, so probably wasn't 1,000 years.
Well, I mean, she was still finishing her dash.
Yeah.
But still, when you're in the outside, they established this in a lot of books. Time flows differently in the outside.
It's just she came out the same movement she was going in with, she came out with. So only so much could have been done. Or it was just a poor choice of theirs to have her come out the same way she was going in.
Yeah. She went through a door. The trick is when you're going through that damn thing's dimension, shit. Like I said, Shumagorath ain't something you really want to. If you ain't the Sorcerer Supreme or some shit, it really ain't something you want good looks at.
Yeah.
Anyway, to kind of wrap up on What If, are you looking forward to the rest of the episodes, or are you going to watch it going forward? Let me put it that way.
I'm going to watch it going forward no matter what. I would enjoy it more if they make them darker and darker to where you really are like, oh, damn, I would like that kind of effect that, you see, okay, yes, this little, linchpin moment is changed, and it has that cascade effect of, yeah, that got out of hand fast, and you're sitting there going, oh.
But you've already seen from the trailers, they're building their alternate version of the Avengers. Like I said, the one with Chadwick, I'm watching that because it's Chadwick. It's Chadwick doing T'Challa. I'm watching that. I don't particularly expect to like it, but it's one of them things I just want to hear Chadwick being T'Challa. So that it'll get me through that one. Okay. The third one, if it turns out to be darker, you'll finally get my interest. If the whole thing is just so they can have some kind of alternate reality Avengers, you're going to get me where I'm kind of like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, Taylor?
I'm sad that this next one's going to be another softball, but I'll watch it because I'm still interested in the thing. I kind of hope they do more long-term ramifications though, because this first episode had major long-term ramifications that you do not get to see in that universe at all. Because without Peggy for the establishment of S.H.I.E.L.D., or to help establish parts of S.H.I.E.L.D., what changes? Because a spy establishing the S.H.I.E.L.D. agency, it did very specific thing. If Steve Rogers and Howard Stark are the ones that start up S.H.I.E.L.D. in this universe, that's irrevocably different. And also because there's no Winter Soldier, Howard Stark doesn't get murked that way. It's inherently different. Those are the big differences. Those are the big changes.
How advanced would Iron Man be in that universe, considering that technology
you already had one?
Already goes back to World War II.
it's a thing of like there are so many long-term changes, but you essentially just went with a costume change.
Yep.
That's basically all you did was a costume change and said, "Hey, Iron Man's in World War II now," and that's it. You had so much else you could do with it.
Yeah.
Like when she
And
comes out of that portal, I'm like, the good stuff's coming, and then it ends.
Yeah. And that's kind of the thing from the books is they let you know, even if it was just in a little blurb, just a sentence or two, hey, because Hulk killed Iron Man, there's not gonna be an Avengers in this world. Think
Yeah.
about what that means. And they may not go in depth, but they let you know that these things are consequences, like Target said, not just a costume change. If you just plug in other characters into other holes, yeah, that's
See, and that what you just said could have been handled because they've got Uatu the Watcher narrating parts of it.
right.
He could have, as it's going off, he could have said,
Just like he basically goes, and this is what was different. When she chooses to stay on the floor, he lets you know this is the thing that changes stuff.
yeah. And at the end, he could go, and
This is what
because-
changed.
and this is what changed. And that's all it would have to do, and that would make it darker.
Instead, he was like, check out this badass motherfucker. See you
Yeah.
later. It's just like, what? No, there's so many questions that you answered none of.
Now, I will say this:
The whole point of this was answering
I
the
enjoyed the
question. what if.
animation. Did everybody enjoy the animation?
I didn't care for the cell shaded thing. I can live with it, but I ain't. I look at Masters of the Universe Revelations animation. I look at this and it's like, yeah, I'm cool. You need to have done something. DC ain't got shit to worry about with this one because I'd watched like the Long Halloween last week. Yeah, they could have done strict 2D animation with a damn good art house, and I've been a hell of a lot more jazzed than that 3D shit. For me, it reminds me of the very first Incredible Hulk video game that came out where you had the creepy cell shaded. I don't like it. I just don't care for that style. Yeah.
And also, to be fair, DC does better, more in-depth what ifs.
Yep, they
Yeah.
sure as hell do.
Because the one with the Apocalypse War one with the Paradooms,
Yeah.
crazy.
Yep.
And that was their mainstream universe.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
just that you had Flash there to reboot it. So
But that's essentially a what if. When you just have a storyline and at the end you go, okay, reset. It's essentially a what if.
Yeah.
And the thing is, that one was just, in comparison, it blew it out of the water.
Yep.
DC was just so much better.
Oh,
So, like,
plus you had decent animation. So
yeah.
DC kills Marvel in cartoon.
And,
They
and
just do.
they have put their effort into the animation universe where Marvel put theirs into the film universe, the actual live acting, and it shows, the quality. If they had done that, hey, we're going to do this with live actors over here in DC, and we're going to build a universe.
But DC showed you in that they were not afraid to have consequences.
Yeah.
And that's what and if you're gonna do what if, you cannot Disneyfy what if and make a decent one. That's the whole point to the stuff.
Yeah,
Is these
yeah.
things, this change had consequences.
Yeah. And, that's why I say, they need to, shift.
They need to
gears.
man the hell up.
Yeah, get out of first gear and, okay, yeah, because T'Challa wasn't here, this happened. Shuri became the Black Panther. And, oh, by the way, yeah, they got found out and got wiped off the face of the earth.
Here's the trick. If T'Challa becomes Star-Lord and because of that, Killmonger takes over Wakanda because T'Challa ain't there, you'll have a fan in it. Because you'll show consequences. Oh, when you took him off the board, it fucked shit up.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I got one more rant and then I'm done. The scene where Peggy's talking to Steve and it's like, well, nobody, now that I miss people listen to me and that kind of whole woe is me shit. Go talk to Gabe Jones about that crap. she's whining about, I'm a woman and I'm not seen. And yeah, be a black person in the 1940s. I'm pretty sure Gabe Jones, if you said, hey, you want to be treated like Peggy Carter, he'd have said, hell the fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Whose ass do I have to kiss to have that?
Yeah.
Get the hell all the way out of my face.
Yeah.
Having two white people whining about that in the 40s. Get the fuck out of here. Well, I don't feel seen. Well, I got seen by the fucking Klan. You want to trade places? All right. That's my little rant. But
All
that
right.
part pissed me off.
So that about wraps us up for today. If you've seen What If and got some, opinions about it, if you disagree with us or if you agree with us, you can leave a comment below. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like and subscribe. If you're listening to the podcast version, please give us a review. You can reach us at thenerdeternal@gmail.com. We also have a Facebook page. If you'd like to support the show, we have a merch store on the site, nerdeternal.com. Anything you want to help us out with, whether it's buying merch or just liking or subscribing, we really appreciate it all. So anyway, again, I've been your host for the day, the experience of some called Jason, and with me has been
The token millennial, Tarky.
CDL113, the droid you're looking for.
And the Todd Father.
and we will see y'all next time. Bye-bye.